Alright everybody, this is my last AFC North video. My last AFC North season prediction. I will be doing my conclusion on the entire predicted 2020 season for this division overall. Right now, I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I predicted the Browns 5-11, the Bengals 3-13, and the Ravens 12-4. So, pretty much, we already have an idea who the bottom two teams are going to be. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to do much worse than Cleveland or Cincinnati. They've come a long way from last season. They learned a big lesson, certainly, from their fiasco with the Cleveland Browns between Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett. Head coach Freddie Kitchens was relieved of his duties, inevitably, I believe, after that season had commenced. But looking into the 2020 season, the Steelers will start off in MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants. I think you have Ben Roethlisberger back, fully loaded, and if not, this Giants game is still a win. Now, Ben Roethlisberger said that when he would cut his hair when he's 100%, so I'm taking it that he's 100%. So that's where most of his prediction is based off of. If Ben Roethlisberger was injured, I probably have some of these games predicted a little differently. But I have the Giants week 1 game marked a win. Week 2, they go home to face the Broncos. First of a 2-game homestand against the Broncos and the Texans. They win against the Broncos week 2 with an incomplete defense that Ben Roethlisberger faces. And week 3 against the Texans, that Steelers defense is finally going to have a field day against the Texans. The Steelers have not really had their way with Houston in quite some time. This game is going to be kind of different. Now, the Steelers would be 3-0 before they go to Tennessee to face the Titans. I think that would be the Steelers' first loss in Tennessee. Here's why I think Tennessee is going to beat the Steelers. First off, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. Their offensive line is better than Pittsburgh's offensive line, I could say. Defensively, Tennessee is still elite. On offense, they did make some sacrifices, but I feel like even on offense, the Pittsburgh at the running back position, they have James Conner, but they don't have that same beast that they had in Le'Veon Bell. So it's going to take them still a little more time to perfect their running game. The Titans have gotten that down packed already. So I have the Steelers going 3-1. They go back home to face the Eagles. I think that will be their second L. So the Steelers will have a 2-game losing streak against the Titans and against the Eagles. Again, the O-line doesn't match up. The defense in Philadelphia is very incomplete. But I do see more experience out of this Eagles defense than the Steelers defense. The Steelers defense is very young, very vibrant. I'm looking at the offenses, and if the Eagles press the right buttons, they'll have a good season and they'll be able to win this game against the Steelers. I feel like the Steelers could easily beat the Eagles, but it's half and half with me. So the Steelers will start off 3-2 in their first 5 games. Not bad. Week 6 hosting the Browns. They definitely win that though. So the Steelers don't really go on a bad win streak at all this upcoming season. They become 4-2, and then they have to go to Baltimore. 4-2, you have to go to Baltimore, who at this point would be 5-1. So the situation here is clear. You win this game, that's a tie for the division. The Ravens win it. They have a solid lead for the division before the Steelers go to bye week on week 8. I think the Steelers win that game. They go to the bye week tied in the division, but during their bye week on week 8, the Ravens would happen to beat the Colts, so the Ravens would be 6-2, while the Steelers would be 5-2, and while they're trying to get ahead of the race in the AFC North, they suffer a loss against the Cowboys in Dallas. Now, I don't know if I'm overrating this Cowboys team or what, but they have a lot of talent, and to me, they're too legit to quit, especially if they hurry up and sign Dak Prescott. So I have the Steelers 5-3 of their first 8 games. So first 8 games, they're only winning 2 of their last 5. So far, and they haven't faced the Bengals yet, mind you, through their first 8 games. So far, they are 2-0 in the division, and they will be 3-3 outside the division. I think the record outside the division would hurt them a little more in the playoffs. But let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Week 10 against the Bengals. I think the Steelers get a win there, obviously. Week 11 at Jacksonville against the Jaguars. The Steelers get a win there. Week 12 against the Ravens. Now, going into week 12, the Ravens took their bye week in week 11 already. So the Ravens got their bye week, the Steelers got their bye week. Both teams are ready for this week 12 matchup. And at this point, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At this point, both teams would be. At this point, oh shit. I'm sorry. I gotta backtrack. I have to backtrack, people. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Both teams would be 7-3. So this is it. Steelers 7-3. Ravens 7-3. Week 12 would determine who leads the AFC North. And the Steelers win this game. Why? I'll tell you why. As easy as the Ravens could snatch the season series against the Steelers, here's 3 reasons why they don't do it. 1, Ben Roethlisberger is a much more experienced and much more traditional quarterback than Lamar Jackson. And I'm not saying that that scrambling quarterbacks or quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson don't have a place in this league, because they definitely do. Okay, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He did better than Big Ben last year, not just because Big Ben is hurt, but I think at this point, if you look at where they are right now, take away everything they've done in the past, I would put Lamar Jackson over Big Ben. But I would not put the Ravens over the Steelers in this matchup. I seriously wouldn't. It's in Pittsburgh, mind you. And the third reason, the Ravens would against the Steelers. I think this is going to be one of those big matchups. Earlier in Lamar Jackson's career, the Ravens weren't really fiercely rival with the Steelers as much as they would rival with the Bengals or the Browns. The Ravens were actually fierce rivals with the Browns, and it largely involved the Steelers getting a playoff spot or whatnot, 2 seasons ago. But I just don't think the Ravens are going to steal the season series from the Steelers. I don't think it's going to happen. So the Steelers would be 9-3, while the Ravens would be 8-4. Steelers have the lead over the North, but not for long. They win the next game hosting the Redskins. They go to the road of Buffalo to face the Bills, and I predicted the Bills to beat the Steelers, and I have to explain why. Again, Bills could easily lose this game, but they're too damn experienced. And I have to say, Mike Tomlin as a head coach is not ahead of Sean McDermott. He's not. At one point he was. He's not anymore. I think at this point in the season, the Bills are determined to be division winners. At this point in the season, where Miami is iffy and New England is iffy and the Jets are taken out, I think the Bills rise up and take their division, and that would involve beating the Steelers week 14. Now, Steelers would be 8-5. And the Ravens at this point 9-4 after their Week 14 win against the Browns. So both sides have 3 games left. The Ravens would have the Jaguars, the Giants, Bengals, and the Steelers would have Bengals, Colts, and Browns. And of course, of their last 4 games of the season, Pittsburgh would only have that one Colts game at home, and Baltimore would have the Jaguars and Giants at home, but then still have to go to Cincinnati. Both teams have to go to Cincinnati. Pittsburgh goes to Cincinnati right after that Buffalo loss. They win. And then against the Colts, they win, and then against the Browns, they win. So I had the Steelers finishing 11-5 behind the 12-4 Ravens team that would win out against the Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals. Now, why do I even think the Steelers are going to be this great? Because, honestly, I'm going to give this Pittsburgh team a chance. I'm going to give them a chance. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot. They've had a lot of injuries. Many faces have come and gone on that defense. It's just, you just don't. I get it. I get it. You don't know what you're gonna get from the Steelers, and that's why I'm so positive on it. I'm optimistic for the Steelers team, honestly. Last year, they almost got to the playoffs. Had they beat the Saints, they'd be in the playoffs. This year, with Big Ben Roethlisberger, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. This is ISC Dee Hinton signing off. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the AFC North conclusion video.